You think intimacy ends the moment it's over, but what happens next is where the real story begins, and most men will never see it coming. Welcome to Talia Talks Love, where we uncover the hidden truths of attraction and intimacy. Today we're diving into what really happens emotionally and psychologically when a man releases inside, and why it leaves a deeper impact than most ever realize. What most people misunderstand is that intimacy is not a single moment. It is a sequence of emotional echoes that continue long after the physical experience ends. And if you've ever noticed how quiet things can suddenly feel afterward, or how the atmosphere shifts in a way you can't quite explain, that's not random. There is a psychological transition happening beneath awareness, a blend of vulnerability, bonding chemistry, and emotional processing that lingers in both minds. And if you've ever felt confused by that shift, or wondered why certain moments stay with you longer than expected, you are not alone in that experience. Many people feel it but don't have the language for it, and that's exactly what we are going to explore together. If this resonates with you even slightly, share in the comments what you've noticed after intimate moments, because your experience might help someone else understand their own. The emotional aftermath of intimacy is often far deeper than most realize. The physical act may end, but what follows is a cascade of subtle, powerful feelings that linger in the mind and body. At the exact moment of release, the body experiences a mix of vulnerability and relief. And this combination opens a door to trust and emotional connection. It's not just about pleasure. It's about a sense of being fully seen and accepted in a moment of complete openness. The mind registers this as safety, creating a lasting impression that goes beyond the physical experience. Sarah, host of What She Thinks YouTube channel. One of the most important things to understand here is that the brain does not separate physical experience from emotional meaning the way we often assume it does. In neuroscience research, particularly studies around bonding chemicals like oxytocin and dopamine, we see that emotional context is encoded into memory alongside physical sensation. That means the way someone feels during intimacy, calm, rushed, connected, distant, cared for, or ignored, becomes part of how the brain stores the entire experience. So later, it is not just remembered as an act, but as a feeling of safety or lack of it. And this is where things become deeply human. Because after intimacy, people often enter a quieter psychological state. The nervous system downshifts, heart rate slows, the body moves from activation into rest. In that moment, emotional sensitivity increases, not decreases. Small gestures suddenly carry more weight. A hand resting gently, a moment of eye contact, or even silence can feel amplified. And this is why some people describe the aftermath as heavy or meaningful, even if nothing dramatic was said or done. To understand this better, think about a real-life example. Imagine two people who share a moment of intimacy. In one scenario, afterward there is calm presence, slow breathing, gentle reassurance, and no rush to disconnect. In another scenario, there is immediate emotional distance, turning away, distraction, or silence that feels empty rather than peaceful. The physical experience may have been similar, but the emotional memory formed will be completely different. One becomes associated with safety and warmth, the other with confusion or emotional withdrawal. The brain does not just record what happened, it records how it felt to be there with that person. This is also where attachment psychology becomes relevant. According to attachment theory, humans are wired to seek emotional safety and responsiveness, especially in vulnerable states. Intimacy naturally activates that system because it involves closeness, exposure, and trust. When responsiveness is present, meaning attention, warmth, and emotional availability, the nervous system interprets the experience as secure. That security then becomes emotionally reinforcing. It creates a subtle desire for closeness again, not just physically, but emotionally. And here is something most people never consciously consider. The post-intimacy phase is often just as important as the intimacy itself. Psychologically, this is when the brain is most impressionable. There is a temporary state where emotional defenses are lowered, and meaning is absorbed more deeply. This is why even small moments afterward can feel disproportionately significant. A soft tone of voice can feel like reassurance. A lack of presence can feel like emotional absence. The mind is essentially writing the conclusion of the experience during this phase. If you reflect on your own experiences, you might notice patterns. Moments where you felt unexpectedly close afterward, or moments where you felt strangely distant or thoughtful. That reflection is not about judgment, it is about awareness. Because once you understand this mechanism, you begin to see that intimacy is not just about what happens physically, but about how emotionally safe the entire experience feels from beginning to end. There is also a biological layer to this. Hormonal shifts after release can influence relaxation and emotional openness. Oxytocin, often referred to in research as a bonding hormone, is associated with trust, calmness, and emotional connection. While it does not create love on its own, it does amplify the feeling of closeness in the right context. When combined with emotional presence, it can deepen the sense of attachment that people feel in subtle but noticeable ways. But what makes this even more fascinating is that the mind is constantly searching for meaning. It does not just experience emotions, it interprets them. So after intimacy, the brain asks unconscious questions like, was I safe? Was I valued? Was I seen? Was I respected? And the answers are not spoken aloud. They are felt through behavior, tone, and presence. This is why nonverbal communication becomes so powerful in these moments. A simple gesture can answer those questions more strongly than words ever could. In everyday life, this is often where emotional misunderstandings begin. One person may think everything is fine because the physical moment went well, while the other is processing emotional signals that were never verbally acknowledged. Not because anything is wrong, but because humans are sensitive to emotional nuance during vulnerable states. This is where awareness changes everything. When you understand that the mind is interpreting emotional safety in real time, you begin to see how important presence truly is. And presence is not complicated. It is not about perfection or scripted behavior. It is about attention without distraction. It is about being emotionally available in the moment rather than mentally checked out. Even simple stillness can communicate more care than elaborate words if it feels genuine. The nervous system recognizes authenticity quickly, often faster than the conscious mind does. There is also something quietly powerful about the way memory works here. The brain tends to compress emotional experiences into symbolic impressions. That means one or two small moments can define the emotional memory of the entire experience. A gentle touch, a moment of closeness, or even the feeling of being acknowledged can become the label the mind attaches to the memory. Over time, this influences how future intimacy is perceived and how emotional expectations are formed. If this is starting to make you rethink what you assumed about intimacy, that is exactly the point. Because most people focus only on the physical side, when in reality, the emotional architecture underneath is what shapes lasting impact. And once you begin to see that layer, you can never really unsee it. What makes intimacy so psychologically powerful is not the moment itself, but the emotional residue it leaves behind. The quiet aftershock that most people never consciously analyze. And if you pay attention closely, you begin to realize that the mind does not simply move on when the body relaxes. It continues processing. It continues interpreting meaning. It continues asking questions in silence, shaping how the entire experience will be remembered in the days, weeks, and sometimes even years that follow. Because here is something most people underestimate. Human beings are not purely physical creatures. We are meaning-making systems. We take moments, especially vulnerable ones, and we assign emotional significance to them whether we intend to or not. And intimacy is one of the most emotionally loaded experiences the human nervous system can go through. Not because of the act itself, but because of what it represents underneath it: trust, acceptance, exposure, and emotional risk. After intimacy, the brain does something subtle but important. It begins consolidating memory. It organizes the experience into emotional categories. Was this safe? Was this meaningful? Was I respected? Was I valued? And the answers are not formed through logic. They are formed through microsignals. The tone of voice used afterward, the presence or absence of affection, the willingness to stay emotionally close instead of withdrawing. These small signals become emotional evidence, and this is where attachment begins to reveal itself in real time. In psychological research on attachment systems, especially adult attachment patterns, we see that moments of closeness can activate deep internal templates formed earlier in life. For some people, closeness feels grounding and secure. For others, it can activate uncertainty or emotional vigilance. Intimacy, because of its vulnerability, often brings these patterns to the surface more clearly than everyday interactions. And what happens afterward can either soothe that system or quietly destabilize it. Think about a simple scenario. Two people share a deeply intimate moment. Afterward, one person remains emotionally present, calm, affectionate, not rushing away from the connection. The other becomes distant, distracted, or emotionally unavailable without explanation. Even if no words are exchanged, the nervous system registers a shift, and that shift becomes part of the emotional memory. One experience becomes associated with safety, the other becomes associated with emotional unpredictability. This is why post-intimacy behavior often carries more psychological weight than people realize. Not because it is dramatic, but because it is defining. It is the emotional final impression the brain uses to label the experience. And here is something even more fascinating. The brain does not store memories like a video recording. It stores them like emotional summaries. A single feeling can represent the entire experience. That means a moment of warmth afterward can color the entire memory as positive, even if there were imperfections earlier. And similarly, a moment of emotional distance can overshadow what was physically pleasurable, leaving behind confusion instead of comfort. This is why people often remember not just what happened, but how they felt afterward. That after feeling becomes the emotional truth of the experience. Now, let's go deeper into something rarely discussed openly: the role of silence after intimacy. Silence is not neutral in these moments. It is interpreted. For a regulated nervous system, silence can feel peaceful, grounding, even intimate in itself. But for a sensitive or uncertain nervous system, silence can feel like emotional distance or withdrawal. The difference is not in the silence itself, but in the emotional safety already established. This is why emotional attunement matters so much. Attunement simply means being aware of and responsive to another person's emotional state. It does not require grand gestures. It requires presence. A hand that stays instead of pulling away too quickly. A moment of eye contact that communicates warmth. A soft tone that signals continuity rather than disconnection. These are not small details to the subconscious mind. They are the language of safety. And when safety is felt, something very important happens in the body. The nervous system shifts from activation into integration. In simpler terms, the body stops bracing and begins absorbing. This is where oxytocin and other bonding-related neurochemicals can reinforce emotional connection. But again, not in isolation. Chemistry follows context. It amplifies what presence already signals. This is why two people can have the same physical experience but walk away with completely different emotional outcomes. One feels connected and calm, the other feels unsettled or detached. The difference is not in the act. It is in the emotional environment surrounding it. And if you have ever wondered why some moments linger in your mind longer than others, this is often why. The brain tends to hold on to emotionally unresolved experiences more strongly than neutral or fully resolved ones. If something feels incomplete emotionally, the mind continues revisiting it, trying to make sense of it, trying to find closure in its own way. Now, let's talk about something practical, because understanding this is not just about awareness, it is about emotional intelligence in relationships. One of the most powerful practices after any intimate moment is simply staying present long enough for emotional regulation to return on both sides. This does not mean overanalyzing or forcing conversation. It means allowing space for calm reconnection. Even something as simple as remaining close without urgency, breathing slowly, or offering a gentle, grounded presence can completely change how the experience is stored in emotional memory. Another important aspect is verbal tone. Research in emotional communication shows that tone often carries more meaning than words themselves during vulnerable states. A soft, steady voice signals safety. A rushed or detached tone signals emotional exit. The subconscious picks up on this instantly, even when the conscious mind tries to rationalize it differently. And this brings us to a deeper truth. Intimacy is not just physical compatibility. It is emotional synchronization. It is the ability of two nervous systems to feel safe in proximity, not just during the peak moment, but in the quiet that follows. When that synchronization is present, Something subtle but profound happens. The experience becomes integrated rather than fragmented. There is no emotional confusion afterward, no lingering sense of uncertainty. Instead, there is a feeling of coherence, like the experience made emotional sense from beginning to end. And that coherence is what the mind remembers as closeness. But when synchronization is missing, when there is emotional misalignment, withdrawal, or inconsistency, the mind does something different. It replays the moment. It tries to understand what changed. It searches for emotional resolution that was never given. And this is often where overthinking begins, not from the experience itself, but from the lack of emotional clarity afterward. This is why emotional awareness matters so deeply in intimacy. Not because it makes things complicated, but because it makes things clearer. It reduces emotional ambiguity. It creates stability in memory. And stability is what the nervous system interprets as trust. If there is one insight to take from all of this, it is that intimacy is not defined by intensity. It is defined by emotional safety. The intensity may fade quickly, but safety lingers. And what lingers is what shapes attachment. So when people talk about unforgettable moments, they are rarely talking about physical detail alone. They are talking about emotional presence, about how it felt to be with someone in a moment of openness and still feel secure afterward. And that brings everything full circle, because at the end of the day, what truly creates connection is not performance, not perfection, and not even the physical act itself. It is the quiet, psychological experience of feeling emotionally seen, emotionally held, and emotionally safe in another person's presence. That is what the mind remembers. That is what the body responds to. And that is what turns a moment into meaning. If this gave you a deeper understanding of what intimacy really does beneath the surface, take a second to like the video, subscribe for more content like this, and share it with someone who would understand the depth of this conversation. And if you felt something while listening, something reflective or personal, write the word connection in the comments. Not for the algorithm, but because sometimes naming an experience is the first step to understanding it.